Hello, friends. Welcome to today's show. I am Dr. Helen, founder and CEO, that would be Chief Engagement Officer of Dr. Helen Holton and Associates, and your host for Dr. Helen Speaks, Strengths, Resilience, and Leadership. If you're here, we believe it's because you want to add to your knowledge and power as a leader, to increase your intellect, that which you know, and invest in your leadership. These are actions to move you closer to your next level in life and leadership. What we've learned along this leadership journey is that the most effective leaders are lifelong learners. Your investment in you as a leader makes you a better leader, a more relevant leader, the kind of leader the world needs more of, the kind of leader people want to follow. One thing we know for sure is when you learn to leverage your strengths, the best of who you are, navigate weaknesses, we all have them, so don't trip. And just so you know, Gallup defines a weakness as anything that gets in the way of your success. Short and simple. When you build your resilience, the third leg of your leadership, it keeps you going and growing through the rough spots. Resilience is a powerful practice that helps you persevere and push through the disruptions, distractions, and detours that work to derail your success. Let me ask you, what's standing in the way of you having more success? Just let that sink in for a little bit. What I know is that of all the places you could have chosen to spend time right now, we're glad you're here. You add value to our time together. Your conversations, comments, and suggestions matter. We take them to heart. You shape the content of our programming. Drop us a note on our website's Contact Us page at Dr. Helen Holton. Connect with me on LinkedIn as Dr. Helen Holton and Instagram as Dr. Helen Speaks. We love hearing from you. Do you have the opportunity to do what you do best every day? I ask you this powerful question every week because it's something to think about every day. It is far too easy to get stuck in a rut and not know that's where you're hanging out. When you come to our show, we want you to give yourself permission to allow your mind to let go and be present in this moment, to think deeper, be more intentional, and do something. Take action with whatever you take away. Our goal is to encourage you to engage with yourself more than you normally do. Put down the to-do list. Put your phone on silence for just a few minutes and focus on what you really want for your life. Investing in you with regularity, like every day, equips and empowers you to be a better leader, focused on what you do best. Repetition is a proven process for retention. The more you do it, the more it becomes part of your path to more success. So before we jump in with our guest today, make sure you've got something nearby to jot down your thoughts, ideas, and aha messages that click for you. Capture them so you can easily come back to them later, ask questions about them, reflect on them, expand them, and build them into your life. It's Women's Her Story Month, and as we continue our conversation with women warriors and waymakers, Kathy Calvin said, "Giving is not just about making a donation, it's about making a difference." And I am so very excited about our guest today. She's going to help us understand on a deeper level what that means on a personal and collective level. Ms. Reagan Royal found her passion and purpose in leadership through philanthropy. She works with people like me and you to educate us and help us to give. Her specialty is in higher education. Reagan's expertise is wide-ranging in cross-functional strategy development. Yeah, she's a heavyweight, touching all facets of fundraising with special emphasis on major, principal, and transformational gifts, including stakeholder engagement. Today, she's leading as the Assistant Vice President of Individual Giving at Howard University. Now, I know there's some HUs out there, and not being a HU, there's two, Howard University and Hampton University. Both of them phenomenal institutions that equip and prepare leaders. Reagan leads a diverse and dynamic team that represents the entire Howard University enterprise. She's served at several prestigious colleges and universities, and through her company, Royal Concepts, Inc., she publishes a memorabilia book, the College Memory Book, for students to chronicle their college experience. Now, how wonderful is that? The longer we live, the further our memories move away from those experiences that help to shape us into the adults we ultimately develop into. The book has thought-provoking universal themes to assist in guiding students' documentation. In her spare time, Reagan is a world traveler that's touched every continent several times, except for Australia. So please help me welcome Reagan Royal to our show today. And I'm gonna give you, yes, a big hand clap. Woo! Welcome. We are happy to have you here with us today. Let's begin with how you reached this sweet spot in life. Share with us your story from speech communications to venture philanthropy. When did you know that philanthropy was your passion?
Helen, let me first thank you for inviting me and having me and creating a space for me to tell my story. I started in corporate America at Chrysler Motors Corporation in the marketing department, went through a transition of downturn at Chrysler, and had a wonderful mentor, Paul Latar, who said to me there were transferable skills in the business of philanthropy, and had a wonderful mother who had always engaged us in giving. And if my grandfather were here, he would tell you I was always in the business of philanthropy, because whenever I asked, he demanded, if you ask for a quarter, he demanded that you tell the story of the amount you would save. So little did I know then, that was the endowment. And asking was an annual gift. And part of that endowment was also saving. So if he were here, he would tell you that she's always been in this business. But I found my passion through Paul Latar saying to me, there are transferable skills, communications, engaging with people, and how wonderful to be able to ask individuals around about their passion and their philanthropic intention, and being able to align it with initiatives at a university. Education has always been a part of our family. My mother was an educator and a counselor, and eventually a therapist. So it was something that I always had a passion for. It was something that was always amplified and messaged in our home. So this for me was a collide of doing good and doing well. And so that's how I became intimately involved in it. Had it when I first started. I had, as I said, a mentor and people who around me shared with me stories of how I could have impact in the business. And so I embraced it fully, went and developed a master's in it. And then when I looked at venture philanthropy, I had an economics background. So that was an opportunity for me, again, to have my passion collide with something that I already had knowledge in. So being able to do it in venture philanthropy and really speak to it as an investment where a great deal of finances are generated and spoken was an opportunity for me to do the best work that I could.
Oh my goodness, I love that, Reagan. I mean, I've known you for years and knew that you did fundraising in higher ed, however, never connected the dots. And when we started this journey along women warriors and waymakers, what I know is that women are always in the fight,
Mhm.
making ways for others to follow behind them.
Yes.
Tell us, what was the transition like from corporate marketing to higher ed fundraising? And your mentor certainly said you had transferable skills, but what was that journey like for you?
Initially, it was challenging for me because I believe that university environments have an opportunity and a pathway for you to be more creative and nimble, whereas in corporate America, it was a bit more restrictive. So it caused me to think more and to think broadly and have engagement with individuals and talk to them about where their passions lie in the industries that they work, and then to look across the entire enterprise at the university and say, what initiatives align
Mm.
with where it is they have passion, and more importantly, or most importantly, where they want to make an investment. And so while it was initially difficult for me to navigate, I have to say I had a strong community. I started at Michigan State University. I had a strong community of individuals that helped me see and make that connection. So I can't emphasize how important it is to lean into forward, side, and back into your networks to make certain you're getting, as you said, Helen, those things that you need
Mhm.
to be successful. So while difficult, eventually it became a rhythm for me. And I was reminded, as I said, of my grandfather saying, ask, and ask often, and listen to those objections. Listen to what it is they're saying to you about why not now,
Mm.
and where it is you can go back to them and gather intelligence and lean on your your professionals and your subject matter experts to help amplify the message around and making the case for them being able to give.
Oh my goodness. I love how you posited that because oftentimes we think, oh, well, she just went from one to the other. That's pretty easy. I think I want to do something different. And there is a journey and a process. My dad taught me years ago three little words. I didn't appreciate or understand them when they were given to me, but live life long enough and you'll find the value in them.
Mhm,
Nothing fast lasts. That was it.
mhm.
And I thought to myself, that's all you got to say? I'm coming to you with this major upset in life, and you just gonna tell me nothing fast lasts? Because there's a process that takes us where from where we are to where we want to go. And we have to be willing to step into that space and have a community that supports us. Resilience is so much a part of making major life transitions. Because be clear, when you're looking to do a thing that's really for you and it requires you to step into unknown territory, when is it? Isn't that the time when the thing you expected the least shows up and interrupts or
Absolutely.
disrupts what you want to do?
Mhm, mhm. And it was through that disruption that I came into higher education and came into the business of philanthropy. It was having been disrupted
Mhm.
from a corporate role and responsibilities there.
I love that. I love that. And when I was reading your bio and I read about your company and the college memory book, and I said, man, I sure wish something like that had been around when I was coming through. But let's be clear, today students can do it with selfies and a cell phone and capture those pictures that remind them as they're writing the narrative around it.
Mhm.
Tell us, where did the idea come from?
It came from exactly individuals like yourself, Helen, saying, I wish I had something that could capture those moments or some documentation. And I have to say, it was through my mother's memory book of me from a child that I developed the concept. And as I'm looking through it and reflecting on lessons learned and things done, I said, And I was always asking individual donors, tell me about your experience. Tell me about your study abroad. Tell me about your favorite professor. Tell me about something in that university community. Tell me about where you found your happy space when you were met with challenge. And I put them all together. And that's how the construct came. And again, through individuals like yourself saying, I wish I had something like this. Now, certainly it has evolved, as you said, as more students have opportunities to capture those moments in real time. So you can capture those, make it into a book, and or you can have it by the book and paste and clip and glue and snap. So it has evolved from the traditional book to an opportunity to create it in a virtual space. And it's available at Target, it's available on Amazon, and this is peak season. So we're seeing opportunity for persons to be able to get one for their special loved one and student.
I love it. It's like the perfect graduation gift while you're still very much engrossed in the experience. Yes, reaching graduation day, but you begin to think back, even at a young age, what did it take for me to get here? Maybe there's
Absolutely.
video clips of something or what have you that you can use. But I also love that it's a book where you can almost treat it like a scrapbook. Take hard photographs or notes and letters and whatever that came along the way to make that really a treasured keepsake. Almost
Yes,
something to hand down to your
absolutely.
children and their children. It becomes a part of the legacy of who you are and who you've become, and can almost be one of those starters when you think this isn't really what I wanted for my life, and you look through that book and maybe you find something that really triggers, oh, I think I want to pursue this path. I want,
It's your blank canvas.
yes, I love it. I love it. So I think about traveling. I love to travel. I started late in life of really world traveling. And as I was reading it, I said, I like this idea. I recently found a travel group that made it really, made it a lot easier and more comfortable than traveling alone or finding somebody that wants to make the commitment with you, because it takes good planning to have good world traveling. How has traveling the world impacted or added value to your leadership in philanthropy?
I have to say, traveling has been a part of my life. My mother always said, don't just live on this block, live all over the world. So having that as a foundation and a base was something that I always have had the opportunity to pursue. One of the ways that it has done that, I'm able to better converse with my constituents about things that they're doing, ask questions about places that I'm thinking of going and how it could lend to my experience. I've had the benefit of having friends that plan. They will all tell you, I'm not the planner. Tell me what to do. Tell me all the significant things that we should do in the places we should touch, and I'm there. I'm learning to be better at it, because some of my friends say, you never want to plan, but you always want to go. Yes. So that's how it has helped me engage better with my donors and understand and have knowledge around where it is philanthropic dollars can strengthen and help and expand and enhance experiences for children or young adults and adults to do the things that add value and are strong value propositions for their life. So that's how travel has helped me. And it also, one of the things that they talk about memory is traveling more than crossword puzzles and other things. When you're traveling and you're outside of your norm and you have to engage and really think through where's my next step and navigate and have understanding, that also helps in us being able to grow and learn as well.
Yes, yes, yes. It's interesting as I was listening to you, I think about the work at Dr. Helen Holton Associates is really steeped in DEIB and culture, diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, and culture.
Mhm,
Culture plays such a big role in the global community in which we live today. And when I think about that cultural humility or the ability to want to understand
mhm,
the experiences of the other and vice versa. And it begins with an openness. And I think world travel is one of the best ways to understand that you may not speak the language, but there's still ways in which you can communicate. You can
mhm,
look at, I can remember the first time I traveled to Jordan
mhm,
and the bells, the call to prayer. I mean, they
mhm,
come multiple times in the course of a day, and initially it was like, okay, what is that? Because you hear it everywhere. It's a different culture. It's a different way of being. And
mhm,
it gives you the exposure. It broadens your perspective on
mhm,
what's important and what matters.
mhm,
As a lifelong learner,
mhm,
I've realized that higher education, be it formally through a college or university, a training, a program, higher education is a gateway to leadership opportunities for most people today, especially women. As
mhm.
we wind down, I want you to share with our audience 3 takeaways about the importance of giving to or giving back to higher education. And for me, and probably for you, I think the value of that is even greater when we think about historically Black colleges and
Mhm,
universities.
mhm. Absolutely. So it's an important space because it's a landscape that helps us close the learning and financial disparities that exist in this country and, dare I say, around the world. The second for me is it's having a space to be a servant leader,
Mm,
to really be able to, again, do well and to do good for individuals. So that's a space for me that's very important for my niece, for my nephew, for all of the students that I'm able to engage with and have impact or an opportunity to enhance and enrich their experience at the at that university level. And then I think the final thing for me is it's a vision of competence. And it is an opportunity for me to be a Black woman at the table where it has largely been reserved for old money power base.
which doesn't
When
look like us. Come on
it
now.
it
I
it,
gotta say that. It doesn't look like us.
it doesn't look like us. So having an opportunity to sit at that table and negotiate at that major principal transformative gift space is something that has really, 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 really resonates with me. And I can have an opportunity to create an enhanced experience for children that look like me and children, others as well.
Reagan, oh my goodness, I mean, you've just poured out so much for us to take in and understand. I reading your background and really connecting the dots. As a lifelong learner, I've got multiple degrees from different institutions, and some of them, it seems on a monthly basis, I get that piece of mail that says, "Oh, please give." And
Uh-huh.
just because of the opportunities I've been afforded to
Mhm,
learn, that
mhm,
included scholarship and other means of financing that
mhm,
learning,
uh-huh,
has prompted me to want to give back, even little bits, because little
Mhm.
bits add up. And when I think about
Absolutely.
individual giving, the more people understand, none of us gets to where we are
Mhm.
without the assistance of others that have already paved that way or gone through that path. And it's really said to me, oh, I must be more diligent and attentive to making those contributions, because I know that somewhere down the line, it could be the very difference of the next genius, the next president, the next statesperson, the next corporate CEO, the next nonprofit leader who's doing phenomenal work in community
Mhm.
to make a difference, doing well by doing good. I,
Absolutely.
I just love that. I mean, I am really feeling full right now and so glad that you're here. And there are no coincidences. And we're in that season where students are preparing for graduation,
Mhm.
be it from high school, college, graduate school. Those dollars of giving make a difference. They add value to who people are and how they show up.
Mhm.
Reagan, if you had one parting thing to really make people want to give, whether that has been their journey to success, whether they're still in it, to understand that out of what you're given, there's an opportunity to share and pour into others who may not have the same opportunity.
I would say to much that is given,
Mm,
much is required and expected. And so as we grow, it becomes incumbent upon us to help to grow in our community. And that's in whatever community we live and work and prosper and have fun. It becomes our responsibility to make certain that we're growing it in the best way that we can. And whether that's through your time, your talent, or your treasure,
mm, mm.
there is a responsibility.
I absolutely love that. And
Mhm.
Reagan, I want to thank you for joining us today. I
Mhm.
know I've learned a lot about the value and significance of giving to higher education. And I know our audience has as well, because if I've learned a lot, it's just makes sense that our audience would learn one or two nuggets to just say, let me look at this when I'm deciding what I want to do. I mean, there's only so much gift buying of things that we can do that are really going to leave a lasting impact. I just want to say to our audience today, we're going to continue to bring you stories of women warriors and waymakers, because it's just touching my spirit. And as others have commented, how blessed they've been by hearing these stories. And this one certainly is in line with the others. We're going to continue to bring them to encourage, inspire, and motivate you to start doing, or to keep doing, or take what you're doing to the next level. What we know is that the struggle is real and you don't have to go through it alone. Eleanor Roosevelt said, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. And that's a very specific place to be in, when you are looking fear in the face. And you know what that feels. I mean, it just can discombobulate your whole being and oh, wait a minute. But know that there is something on the other side of that, if you just face it and go through it with resilience. So keep coming back to Dr. Helen Speaks for your weekly dose of strengths, resilience, and leadership. Join us live at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Now, you have to gauge yourself if you're in another time zone. I know it's 10 a.m. Pacific Time and all points between, but we go live here on the East Coast at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time every Tuesday. Or you can catch our replays on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Roku TV, or the WinWinWomen.tv network. I must give a shout out to the team of Dr. Helen Holton and Associates, who are here to serve you each and every week. It may be my face that you see, but be very clear. Behind me is a team that makes this show possible. What keeps you moving forward from here to what's next? Dr. Helen Speaks. Our purpose is to bring you insightful, intriguing, and introspective information to level up your leadership. Our focus is on how we deliver lifelong learning and growth to you. Make Dr. Helen Speaks a part of your leadership development, a part of your life. You won't regret it, and we'll be right here. And keep this in mind, we are working this very day to have all of our episodes up on our YouTube channel, where you will be able to go and catch them all and share them and do everything you do out there in social media, because I'm just a student still learning how to master that platform. Lifelong learner. Stay tuned, and we look forward to seeing you next week for our next episode of Dr. Helen Speaks.